Aquavit takes its name from the Latin aqua vita, meaning water of life. An aquavit is a liquor predominantly flavored with caraway or dill. Aquavit is found throughout Scandinavia, and Norway's traditional rendition of this spirit is matured to perfection in large old sherry casks. The essential flavorings of a genuine aquavit are caraway or dill, but a number of other herbs are also used. The potato spirit, water, herbs and spices are blended together in large copper pot stills, the same kind that are used to make malt, whiskey and cognac.
All Norwegian aquavit is distilled from potatoes, and in this bottle I have a distillate very similar to the second distillation of cognac, the Brouilly. And we have herbs and spices, potato spirit in a pot still, and we carry out the distillation to get out the flavors from the herbs and the spices. A recipe going back approximately 200 years.
In the pot stills, the mixture is heated to create the herbal spice distillate. The compounds of the mixture rise upwards with the vapor, which cools to become a clear liquid, retaining intact the aromas from the spices and the herbs. Only the very best of the distillate is used for making Norwegian aquavit. The alcohol level is brought to a consistent 60% alcohol by volume, before the young aquavit is matured in the large old sherry casks.
The thing that really makes the Norwegian aquavit unique is the maturation in sherry butts. And we go to Spain and we buy these sherry casks or butts, and when we put the aquavit into these barrels, the aquavit will receive some of the sherry, a bit of the vanilla, eugenol, etc. from the oak staves. And if you look at some of the aquavits we produce, I've taken two out here. One has been put into an old barrel, so it hasn't really obtained lots of color. When you smell these two, you'll find that this one will retain a lot of the herbs and spices, which makes it more suitable to some Norwegian traditional foods. When you smell this one, it's been 5 years in a fairly new sherry casks, you'll realize that it's much more of an avec. You can sit and nose it and enjoy it like you would do a single malt whiskey or a cognac.
Linja Aquavit is the most famous of all the Norwegian brands. Linja, the Norwegian word for a line, in this context refers to the equator. Shipped from Norway to Australia and back, Linja Aquavit crosses the equator twice. The story of the cask maturing process of Norwegian aquavit goes back to the early 1800s. In 1805, Katarina Lysholm, she decided to load a ship, the Trondheims Prøve, with saltfish, stockfish, cheese, dried meat and 5 barrels of aquavit in a bid to open up a lucrative trade route to the busy harbors in Indonesia, far away from the troubled waters of Europe. Upon arrival in Indonesia, they discovered that the spirit was hard to sell. When they set sail for the return trip to Norway, not a single drop had been sold. In February 1807, the aquavit arrived back in Norway, having circumnavigated the globe in its wooden casks and been exposed to wide temperature variations in tropical waters. At this point, a small miracle was revealed. When they tasted the contents, it was immediately obvious that the crude spirits that had left the Norwegian harbour 2 years earlier had been completely transformed into a smooth, elegant drink. And so, Linja Aquavit was born. A close look at a bottle of Linja Aquavit reveals that it carries details of the spirit's own unique voyage, printed on the reverse of the front label. Each month, a new load of casks is embarked on a 4-month-long journey around the world, which means that at any one time, there are more than 1,000 barrels of Linea aquavit maturing at sea. A tradition of maturing that goes back to that very first voyage in 1805. And to this day, every sip of Linea aquavit is redolent with memories of its long sea voyage.